Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So on this video, I'm going to be looking at the rear light unit. So as you can see, it's all made of plastic. It's painted silver on that side, which is in good condition, and it's all very grubby on the back. One of the biggest problems with this is the steel plated inserts that are in it that are plated. They're actually in good condition, but I can't get them out because they're moulded in the plastic. And the light bulb holders there, which the plating's all gone off on them, as you can see, they're actually crimped around the plastic. Now you could try uncrimping it, but to be quite honest with you, you're going to knacker all the plastic reflector. So we can't do that basically. It's just going to bugger it. So I'm going to just whip the bulbs out. I'm going to screw on an old lens on the front so we don't damage the reflector, and then I'm actually going to put this in the aqua blaster to clean all the muck. It's covered in all muck, dust. That'll also clean up these plated bulb holders, and then what I'm going to do is painstakingly mask it all up and paint them silver, try and make it look something like. So yeah, we'll get on with that. So as you can see there's the bulb holder. When you go around to that side, it's crimped over the plastic, and it's not just crimped over like a little bit. You've got three big sections, one there, and one at the top. They're actually crimped over, and that's the same on all of these. So like I say, we're not going to be able to lever all them out because you're going to have to lever against the plastic, which is going to knacker it all, and this is all in nice condition. And then on the back, you can see how mucky and dirty it is. It's not ideal putting electrics in the wet blaster because obviously it's wet, but we'll leave it somewhere nice to dry out. But what it'll do is, because these are all very rough, and I don't want to have to start rubbing these down by hand because it'll be a nightmare. So if you put them in the wet blaster, it'll take all that roughness off. But it's just going to be a very boring job masking it all up. Before I put it in the blaster as well, I'm going to tape these up because we don't want to damage the plating on there, because there's nothing wrong with the plating on there. There's a rubber grommet goes over there, so you'll never see any of it, so there's no point in knackering the plating. These very ends are a bit dull, but what I'll do is I'll just put a little dab of gold on the ends when they're on. Got an old lens here. I'll show why it's all taped in a minute, because that's all smashed out in the middle, but it's just to stop any water getting into here. There we go. This was the light unit. You remember what it looked like? That's now what it looks like. Now at the beginning of the video I said I was actually going to mask all these light fittings up, and I was going to paint them, which was going to be a real nightmare because as you can see there, you've got that rubber end to mask up, you've got where the wire comes off there. It would have been a real chew. When I actually put it in the wet blaster, because I use a really fine media, and as you can see, it brings up the plastic lovely, and even there was a bit of ink on there. It's still actually on, so it's blasted all that up really nice. It cleans all the wiring. Like I say, it's been sat on the radiator for a day or two drying now to make sure everything's completely dried out. But the plating is in such good condition, and if I'm honest, I know I like to put everything on perfect, but in this instance, the effort and the amount of work there is going to be to paint these, and then they're not going to be original because they should be plated and not paint. You can see there's a little bit on them there. There's a little bit of corrosion just starting on there. Bearing in mind, guys, when this is on the bike, this is inside the bike, and once the fairings are on, you'll never see it. Now I know that's not an excuse, because I hate it when people say, oh, leave it, you don't see it. I always try and I want every last little bit perfect. But when it comes to this, I think they're in such good condition for their age, and because you don't see it when it's all built up, I think I'm going to leave them as they are, because they aren't bad at all. The rest of it's perfect, just the plating is just going off ever so slightly. But if they'd all been red rust, yes, but they're not. It's just the surface of the plating going. So you can see that one. I mean, that was nearly perfect. Again, it's the two yellow ones. I don't know why they're clear passivated and the two ends are yellow. I have absolutely no idea why they choose to do that. But yeah, so I think we're going to leave that as it is. It's super clean and it's original, so we're going to put that in as it is. Got all the bulbs here, so we'll pop the bulbs in. Got the twin filaments for the middle for the brake light, stop and tail. And then the single filament ones for the indicators at the side. And again, I'll be honest guys, I never thought that this light would actually clean up as nice as that and be able to leave it like that. So I'm well chuffed with that. Right guys, so this is our light lens. Unfortunately there's tabs missing off it everywhere, and you might have noticed there's a big gaping hole where the stop and tail light lens should be, which is here. And if you look at that, it's obviously dropped out at some point. There we go, look. It's dropped out at some point, someone's glued it in, and it's been a bit messy, to be honest with you. If you look on the back of the light, you can see all the glue. It's all over the place, it's all over the, don't think I can, trying to show it on here. They've somehow spilled it all over the reflector as well. It's all run down the clear number plate light. It's just a mess, to be honest with you. And also, I don't know why it would go in quite nicely. You could repair this one, it'd certainly be serviceable, absolutely. Glue that back in there with some rigid plastic glue and it'd be absolutely fine. But if you look there, you can see it. It looks like someone's tried to lever it out with a screwdriver for some reason. And I have absolutely no idea why anyone would do that, but you can see where the screwdriver's dug in there. And you can see here all the way around where it's all chewed up. So the question is, how am I going to make this look like a brand new concourse light lens? This is how. A nice new one. No, lucky enough guys, I was lucky. I was on the computer one night and I managed to find this. It was brand new, in a box, never been opened. There's a few scuffs on here where it's been sat face down in the box, which I'm going to polish out in a minute, and I'll show you how to do that. There we go. Okay, so we've got the seal that goes around this. In actual fact, the bottom bit I've laid in, sorry, already. Drop this in. There's two holes in the corner where the water's supposed to drain out. Just drop that in there like that. Take the new light lens. Now the light lens has two lugs, two locating lugs on the bottom of the indicators. So it's clipped on at the bottom, it's in its groove all the way around there. And then earlier on this week I've been fairly busy. The 2 screws that hold the lens in, they've been replated. I did them at the beginning of the week. I'm going to pop these in. Don't over tighten these either, because the last thing you want to do is crack the plastic. Well, not new screws, sorry, the replated screws, looking nice and new, they're in. And then again on the back, you've got the 3 mounting bolts that are captive in it. The grommets are already on the back of the bike, which I'll take you over in a minute. The 3 nuts have got the yellow, I've replated those, they've got the yellow finish on, the yellow passivate, and the 3 washers, they're zinc plated with the silver passivate on as well. Basically, it's dead simple. We just line those 3 up with those 3 grommets there. Push it in, that's it. Washer on. And another one, same on all of them. I'll give these a nip with a spanner. Just so you feel them go tight, and then a little bit more. There we go. And I'm being very careful not to damage the finish on the new nuts, on the plated nuts. That's it. Light unit on. On here, got the wiring. And that goes into that connector there. And that's it. That's it. And then just down there, you can see because of the light, quite poor light down here, there's a little clip just there. That wiring harness clips into. Just there. And that's it. That's the backlighting. So everyone, that's the backlight done. I'm pleased with how that's come up. I'm glad that I didn't have to start masking it all up and painting it. Just something I want to point out that I maybe didn't make obvious in the video. The aqua blasting process can be quite a gentle process, hence what you've seen on there. It hasn't taken any of the plating off. It'll actually take a long time to take the actual zinc plating off. What it does take off quite quickly is the passivate finish, and you notice that more on the yellow passivate. Usually once you hold it under the jet for a few seconds, it takes that yellow passivate off, but because I turned the pressure right down this time and the water lubricates it and we use a very fine media, it hasn't taken any of the yellow passivate off. It just tickled the surface up for us, so it worked really well. So I just wanted to make that clear, because some people think, oh well, surely he's blasted it, how come it hasn't taken the passivate off? Because I also forgot to mask up the 3 studs, and as you could see on some of the pictures later on in the video, it still had the yellow passivate on. So it's it can be, if you get the settings right, it can be, and you know what you're doing, it can be a very gentle process and fantastic at cleaning, as you've seen. So I just wanted to point that out. So yeah, that's like I said, that's the backlight done. I've got a few other bits done, which I'll include in the next video. I've got a few dilemmas since then. We've had a stripped thread inside of the crankcase, got that to repair, so I'll show that on the next video, and just a few little bits and pieces I've got done. So if you like this week's video, please leave a comment, please hit the notification bell, and please subscribe, and I'll see you next week, guys, in the next video. Cheers.